Hi everybody, welcome to IKEA and our team presentation. Today we're going to be looking at the external factors of IKEA that affect their competitive strategies and also their key success factors and how they affect their competitive players. And finally we're going to look at the threats and competition, the threats and opportunities that affect their players also. So we hope you enjoy the presentation and learn something new.
First of all, to look at the underlying structure that IKEA is involved in, we need to do an analysis of the industry. One of the first analysis that we're going to be doing is a personnel analysis of the industry. And if we look at economic factors that affect IKEA and industry, obviously the recession over the last year has affected it greatly, as people have much less disposable income to be able to spend on things that they want, such as furniture and other products that IKEA and their businesses provide. However, IKEA has managed to have a profit of 7% in the last year, which shows obviously that they're still able to provide things at an affordable price so that people can still afford to buy products from them. And this is something that some of their competitors have successfully and not so successfully done. With regard to social factors, there's been a dramatic increase in the amount of first-time buyers. And obviously people who buy for the first time a house, they want to refurnish the house and furnish the house the way that they want to. So if there's a great decrease in this is something that's going to affect the industry and the players in the industry have to consider. Next, the technological factors. Obviously, IKEA and their competitors have to keep up to date with modern times, and this includes website purchasing, as a lot of people are moving to online. So they need a service that is easy to use and that is effective, such as they do in fact have. Also, the development of new technologies. An example, a chair that IKEA sells now, they used to sell created in the 1980s that used 100% raw material, and that's been cut by 70% in the current year. So that just shows how the new technologies can have an impact on the industry. Lastly, environment. Obviously, there's a huge pressure on the furniture industry, which uses mainly raw materials to cut down their carbon footprint and use sustainable sources. And this is something that is a big factor for the players in the industry to consider.
Talk me through the key factors of success and how companies in the industry must do these to ensure survival and seek competitive advantage.
For any business, there are always many issues that need to be considered in order to take the competitive advantage and reduce the risk in the current environment. Firstly, it is important to make sure that the supply chain is in control, whether you are getting the right material and the quality from it. Then control the process of production until the final finished goods. By making all these stages of production right, it will help business to save cost because there will be less mistakes and waste.
So what strategies can the business use to control the production process?
According to Brozet and Henfield, to control the production process, organization must avoid MUDA, which is waste, and follow the MUDA strategy, which means considering about the inventory waste in transformation process and decreasing the time out of the process. There are 7 MUDA sources that the business can consider open, and from which overproduction, unnecessary waiting and unnecessary transformation could be the good sources which will help the business to save cost and maintain the sustainability. In terms of IKEA, they aim to control the supply chain and reduce unnecessary transformation through using the flat packaging for their furniture. Also, in order to gain the competitive advantage against Argos, IKEA got the in-store layout, which gives the opportunity to serve customers themselves and also get an idea on how they could decorate their own houses. Also, in addition to that, IKEA got in-store childcare service, which gives the chance to the customers with the kids to come and shop to IKEA and leave their kids to the childcare service. Okay, then let's talk about the key competitive challenges.
Well, they have the bargaining power over the suppliers and buyers, and this is supported by the Gilbert and Sherry strategy. The reason why they can provide a really low price for their customers is because they are operating in a very large production scale, and where they can have the advantage of economic of scale and also have the bargaining power to negotiate a better deal with their suppliers. Well, in regard to buyers, well, they are very loyal to IKEA, as IKEA can able to provide very low prices to them, which means it's going to be hard for them to find the other substitute products or similar products from the others.
As well as maintaining the cost leaderships, can IKEA maintain profitability?
Yeah. In terms of cost, well, IKEA definitely they always have to keeping their cost as low as possible. In order to maintain their marketing positions. And by doing this means they have to compromise on customer service and other areas in order to able to provide a low prices, competitive prices. Well, as a result of this, IKEA is actually losing out the focus on customer service. But even though they are still able to make a very great profit with their target group.
Talk me through the opportunities in the industry and why they exist.
Okay, for opportunities, IKEA they actually moving from international to global stages through the development of Asia and Eastern European models. Traditional models for IKEA has been very developed. However, they will have the opportunity to move into the mid and high price points, which means it will increase the value for basket goods, and it will make them less reliant on the demographic group. Although they are like in association with the development of IKEA, also there is an opportunity for them to achieve growth and probably increase the quality of customer service, as the additional transactional capability will reduce the pressures from stores to a certain degree.
What are the threats in the industry in the next 5 years and why?
There's many threats in the industry in the next 5 years. Basically, within growing competitive retail markets, mainstream retailers are beginning to mirror the model of low-cost furniture, such as IKEA, which will obviously affect the buoyancy of IKEA and their competitors in the future. So this is something that IKEA and their players need to consider when developing their competitive strategies for the future, because obviously when IKEA came out originally, it was one of the only companies to offer the services and products that it did in terms of the low-cost flat-back modern furniture, whereas now that there's more competition coming along, they need to differentiate themselves, obviously individually with different methods to differentiate themselves from each other in order to succeed in the market.
How will these impact players and competitive strategy?
Basically, their players and their own strategy for IKEA, it's going to affect them because in the past they used to be the only people that offering the service. So now that there's other players, they need to have points of difference, because they can't have too many points of parity. So the points of difference, they need to offer childcare like they currently do, something a major competitor with Argos doesn't do. So it's all things like that they need to keep on top of, and also make sure that their competitors aren't going to include these things, because if their competitors include these things, they're going to need to develop their competitive strategies further. You've seen throughout the video, we've looked at IKEA as a business and its competitors. We've looked at the strategies that they currently have in place and the strategies that themselves and their competitors need to implement in the future in order to gain competitive advantage. We'd like to thank you for listening to our video, and that's the end of it. So on behalf of me and the team, we're out.